Argentina's President Mauricio Macri urges Congress to approve a deal with the country's so-called vulture funds. Plus, floods continue across Peru. Thanks for joining us. For teleSur's English, I'm Coddy Weddle, and this is From the South. We begin today in Argentina. That's where President Mauricio Macri has urged Congress to approve a landmark deal reached with the holdout creditors there Monday over defaulted debt. Now, Macri needs the Congress to pass the deal before the April 14th deadline set by a U.S. court. The plea was made during the opening of Argentina's Congress. However, it is unlikely that the path towards the approval of the deal will be easy. The left-wing opposition Front for Victory party holds a majority of seats in the lower house, while Macri's campaign allies have expressed doubt about the agreement and say they will further examine it. And one of the most heated points of Macri's speech came when he attacked the former government for the inflationary problems that the country faces. Opposition lawmakers interrupted his speech, criticizing his stance while the country is facing a significantly high inflation rate.
Inflation has been high these months due to the inertia of many years of high inflation and the irresponsible transition we are living in. But we are convinced that inflation will start going down towards the end of the year. The main measure for that...
Silence! Silence, please. We are going to...
And the opposition lawmakers held banners protesting several policies implemented by Macri. Many of the banners made reference to the increased prices of staple goods such as meat or bread. Others made reference to the unjustified detention of indigenous leader Milagro Sala. Meanwhile, outside Congress, the bank sector workers staged a strike to demand the reincorporation of hundreds of fired workers and a raise in their salaries. With barely 3 months in power, President Mauricio Macri has had to face around 5 national strikes and widespread criticism. Former Peruvian president and current presidential candidate Alejandro Toledo is expected to appear in Congress for his alleged involvement in Brazil's Lava Jato scandal. Now, Toledo, however, has defied Congress and says he will not attend the hearing. Despite open investigation against him, Toledo has not said if he will drop out of the race. Although close aides say he is considering it, he has denied that. However, his party, Peru, possibly is still in a legal battle with the electoral body due to 2 of their candidates who are being investigated over corruption charges. And floods in Peru continue. The floods have left at least 2 people dead. Authorities are evaluating if they should declare a state of emergency in the province of Arequipa. The floods are being caused by the El Niño phenomenon, which experts think this year has worsened. And in a dramatic appeal, Bolivian President Evo Morales publicly requested to meet his son. The president spoke during a press conference and explained at the time his partner had told Morales their son was born dead. However, new accounts by his former partner are raising doubts about the death of the child. The personal story of Evo's past relationship was used during last week's referendum to damage the reputation of the president. Morales appealed to the family of his former partner for help.
I asked the family of Gabriela Zapata, please, I am waiting. I want to pick up my child. If you allow me, I have the right to know him, to see him, and care for him.
Meanwhile, the governing MAS party met to analyze the referendum results of last week. With more on that, we turn to our correspondent in Bolivia, Dimitri O'Donnell.
Almost 1 week on since the No campaign narrowly won Bolivia's referendum to abolish 2-term presidential limits, members of MAS, Bolivia's ruling party, are gathering here in La Paz to meet President Evo Morales to discuss the outcome and the results. They say broadly that they respect the decision of Bolivia's electorate and that it's still too early to talk about a possible successor to Evo Morales. They say he still has almost 3.5 years left in office to complete his mandate for government and that he should be allowed to continue that time in office without speculation about who's going to continue once he leaves office. However, they did hit out at the online dirty war that was waged by Bolivia's opposition on the so-called social networks, which influenced many people's decision to vote against the government. They said action should be taken against the spreading of false information online for future campaigns.
The Chilean government announced major budget cuts due to falling copper prices there. The budget will be cut by 1%, which represents $540 million. The government clarified that the social programs being implemented would not be affected. Copper prices fell over the last weeks of February, although they are rising again. Finance Minister Rodrigo Valdez explained their projections, so the price is likely to fall once again. Mexican authorities confirmed that a container with radioactive material was stolen on Saturday in central Mexico. The Nuclear Commission is investigating the robbery and are trying to find the material. This is the latest in a series of similar crimes, which has led experts to suspect drug cartels could also be seeking radioactive material to expand their business.
Fue informada la Comisión Nacional.
Brazil has inaugurated a health recovery center for babies born with microcephaly. The center will focus on treatment to boost babies' brains so that they can develop at a normal rate. The center is located in the state of Recife, and UNICEF is monitoring advances in the center to promote solutions to the problem. 150 children are being treated in the center, and another 70 are waiting to be admitted. The British rock legends Rolling Stones, they've confirmed a free concert in Havana, Cuba. That'll be set for March 25th. The concert will coincide with President Barack Obama's visit, taking place only 2 days before the event. The Rolling Stones said they are excited about playing in Cuba and that it will be a historic opportunity. Check this out. Thousands of Colombians joined in a No Pants Day in central Medellin. The organizers of the march said that the day without pants is an effort to raise awareness on the importance of freedom of expression in all of its forms, including people's right to dress as they please without the fear of discrimination. Polls open in several U.S. states for Super Tuesday, which is the largest day of voting in the months-long primary elections and caucuses. 11 states cast votes for presidential candidates from either the Republican or Democratic parties, or both. Well, not both, Republican or Democrat, in a contest seen as make or break for the hopefuls there. The decisive polls could consolidate the numbers of frontrunners, Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party, and Donald Trump for the Republican Party. And with more now on those Super Tuesday votes, we turn to our correspondent, Bianca Perez from Washington.
Super Tuesday is underway here in the United States. We are currently outside of a polling center in Alexandria, Virginia. The polling centers have been open since 6 a.m. and they will close between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Something interesting about Super Tuesday is that Alaska and Colorado particularly will only be voting for one party. Alaska will only be hosting its Republican caucuses, while Colorado will only be choosing its Democratic candidate, as well as the territory of American Samoa, which will also be choosing only their Democratic candidate. Bianca Perez, teleSur, Washington, D.C.
Spain's socialist chief, Pedro Sanchez, pled to lawmakers in parliament to vote him as the new prime minister there. Spain has been in a political stalemate for 11 weeks now, since none of the four parties elected have enough seats to govern alone. The socialists, which hold more seats within the opposition parties, reached a deal with right-wing Ciudadanos party, which has now pushed left-leaning Podemos away from joining the socialists in an alliance.
We have two options, doing nothing and allowing Mr. Rajoy to continue presiding over the caretaker government, or betting on change through dialogue and agreement. There are just two options. This chamber must decide which side to take. Either we stand still or we start walking.
Basque separatist leader Arnaldo Otegi has been released from prison after serving a 6.5-year sentence for trying to resurrect banned separatist party Batasuna, considered the political wing of the armed group ETA. Otegi vowed to fight for peace and help in any effort to bring the Basque separatists to the negotiating table. The United Nations says that Europe is on the cusp of a self-induced humanitarian crisis. Over 24,000 refugees are stranded at the Greece-Macedonia border. The UN criticism comes as more refugees continue arriving to the Greek shores daily. The UN says that this situation has been self-induced by Europe due to its closure of borders and lack of facilities provided to the refugees.
Greece cannot manage the situation alone. It remains absolutely vital, therefore, that the relocation efforts that Europe agreed to last year are prioritised and implemented. It should concern everyone.
Germany's highest court is hearing a request to ban neo-Nazi party NPD. Far-right and anti-immigrant National Democratic Party was founded in 1964 as a successor to the neo-fascist German Reich Party and scored 1.3% in the 2013 federal elections. The United Nations will delay the next round of Syria peace talks by 2 days. According to UN Syria envoy Staffan de Mistura, the delay is to allow the cessation of hostilities in force since Saturday to take hold. Although the levels of violence have decreased considerably, international observers have acknowledged violations of the agreement. A Malalian man has attended a hearing at the International Criminal Court to assess if evidence against him is strong enough to merit making him stand trial for his involvement in destroying historic sites in Timbuktu. Ahmad al-Faqi al-Mahdi is a suspected member of the al-Qaeda-linked Ansar al-Din group and is the first person to appear in the ICC for involvement in the attacks that happened in the summer of 2012. South African President Jacob Zuma survives his second no-confidence vote in a year. The country's main opposition, the Democratic Alliance Party, SAD Zuma, has been recklessly handling the economy there. 225 lawmakers voted against the no-confidence motion. 99 voted in favor and 22 abstained. Zuma did not attend the proceedings.
House Chair, I rise on behalf of the issue that raised by the Honorable
On Sunday, FIFA's newly elected president Gianni Infantino begins his first day on the job at the organization's headquarters in Zurich. Infantino insisted that FIFA's reform package would close the door on another chapter of pain at world football's governing body and usher in an era of joy.
Every day should be about joy, about fun, about passion, and we have to take ourselves a little bit less serious. We have to be serious and professional when we work, of course, but football is about joy, is passion, is magic, and today the legends are here. They are the stars, not I. I'm at their service. I'm at the service of football, and that's how it should be.
British motor firms McLaren, Arash and Kahn revealed their new supercars at the Geneva Motor Show in Switzerland. McLaren presented the latest model in its new sports series range. Arash unveiled its AF8 Cassini supercar that has a 6-speed manual transmission, while Kahn revealed its new WB12 Vengeance. The 86th Geneva Motor Show starts on March 3rd and runs until the 13th. And that's what we're covering on this Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For teleSur's English, I'm Coddy Weddle. We'll see you back here tomorrow.